Yo, what's going on, man? Today is June the 14th. Three WNBA games today. A bunch of two WNBA games for yesterday. We'll recap those. Won't talk too much about the NBA just because it's a WNBA show today, but I got smoked in the NBA last night. It's interesting because I got my money back in the W, a little bit of it back anyway. Was on OKC first half, OKC first quarter. They laid an egg in both spots. Pacers just couldn't stop scoring the basketball up until the fourth quarter, where they could only manage 17 points. So really difficult series to handicap, if we're being honest. I said this at the end of game one. I said this is a series I probably should just sit on the sidelines with. And OKC, of course, had gotten obliterated in the fourth quarter of every single game. So I thought that they would come out, throw the first punch. But it was the opposite. They get smoked in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then the Pacers all of a sudden can't score the basketball in the fourth quarter, which is where they typically score most of their points. So super frustrating NBA Finals. Just needing to vent that out a little bit. As far as WNBA, we'll jump into a quick recap. 2-0 day yesterday. Well, 3-0 day yesterday because we took Atlanta. I gave out Atlanta plus 11.5 yesterday on the stream. This Dallas plus 8 should also be a winner as well. I just didn't put a check beside it, but that was a winning bet yesterday as well. Let's see. And yeah, there we go. And double dipped on the Atlanta Dream last night, third quarter minus 4.5 as well, after a very lackadaisical first half, specifically second quarter against the Chicago Sky. So 3-0 yesterday, make up a little bit over a unit and a half. And still losing on the season, but feels good to get back in the win column, man. Hopefully you guys made some winning bets yesterday as well. Let's jump into it for today. Algina says, good morning, Chris. Went 2-0 yesterday and the last night. Cashed Atlanta minus 12 and over 170 in the Dallas Wings and Las Vegas Aces game. Like to see that. Lock D Smith says, let's get it. Today's going to be a good day. I sure hope so. What up, GLB? Top of the morning, Justin. My guys, Doms in the building last night in Indiana. Says, morning, Chris and chat. Happy to catch a morning show. Yeah. I couldn't do a late night show last night. It was just a little too hectic, but I also didn't have any plays either. So see if we could talk some out today. DT says, pour me up another bartender. What's good, Chris? People probably don't understand this reference, but I was taking a double shot last night every time that the Thunder lost a quarter. So another reason why, a little bit of a later show today, but it's all good, man. It's all good. Algina minded people hit the like button. Appreciate that, Algina. What up, 3 times? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Peasy. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Big Marv. Josh is watching from Australia. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that for sure. All right, let's jump into it for today. Tom says Atlanta saved me last night against the Sky. It shouldn't even been that bad, but shouldn't even been that scary. But yeah, they ended up getting the job done. Great hit 15 on the nose. She shot terrible in the first half, but shout out to Ron Howard. She was the one who really helped a lot. They ended up scoring 50 points in the second half alone. The Atlanta Dream did. Their offense is very night and day-ish, but it is what it is. Let's jump into it for today. So jaXon up first. I wanted to ask jaXon today about a total in the WNBA, and jaXon tells me specifically that it likes the so the prompt is what is the best WNBA total on the board today and why. jaXon tells me that it likes the Minnesota and LA Sparks game up and over the 164. It says the Lynx boast the second best offensive rating in the WNBA, ranked second in effective field goal percentage at 53.8%. The ability to score efficiently makes them a strong contributor to high-scoring games. With Kayla McBride back in the lineup, they have a plus 13.1 net rating when she's on the floor, showcasing their offensive dominance. The Los Angeles Sparks defensive struggles. They rank 10th in defensive rating, which is a significant weakness against the high-powered Lynx offense. In their previous matchup, the Lynx exploited the Sparks defense, outscoring them 38-28 in the paint. This interior dominance is likely to continue, further boosting the scoring potential. Then you got pace of play. While both teams are in the bottom half of the league in pace, their offensive strength outweighs this factor. The Lynx ability to score efficiently and the Sparks defensive vulnerabilities create a favorable environment for the over to hit. Historical matchup, the last time these two teams met, they combined for 164 points, which is exactly where the total is set today. Given the Lynx offensive improvements and the Sparks defensive issues, the game has strong potential to exceed this total. So jaXon likes the over 164 in today's game. I didn't even look into any player props, but I am interested though. I am interested. Maybe I'll come back and read that. But jaXon likes the over between the Sparks, and we'll jump straight into that game. So this total actually opened. Sparks, Lynx. The Lynx are back at the crib, and the Sparks are still on the road. Just beat the Aces in their last game as a double-digit dog in that game. I think they were a double-digit dog, close to a double-digit dog at least. So now we got the Sparks on the road. We start with the injury report, fresh off the press, maybe about 15 minutes ago. Got word that Odyssey Sims is going to be out in this game for the Sparks. She joins referral, Cameron Brink, who also won't play in this game for the Sparks. So they're going to be a little short-handed today. The Minnesota Lynx, they will be without Jessica Shepard. She did miss the last game against the Storm as well. So I'm looking at this matchup, and I told you guys, if people had a chance to watch the show that I did yesterday, I said, man, I really want to, start getting to some of these lines early. This was one I kind of just went back and forth on, not knowing exactly what to do. And I'll tell you guys why. So start with the Sparks, right? This team is not really good at all, but they have played really well on the road for whatever reason. 4-1 against the spread on the road this season. Although they're just 4-6 against the spread on the season. So they haven't covered a game at home, but they've done really, really good on the road for whatever reason. They play better when they're not playing in LA. Now, on the other side, you got a Minnesota Lynx team that's coming off a really bad loss. Their only loss, but it was a bad one against Seattle the other day. And while I do expect them to bounce back and, play really, really well in this game, 11.5 seems like it's too many points. And the reason why is, and I go back to last year, the Lynx don't cover big numbers at the crib for whatever reason. Only 1-3 against the spread so far this season, although they are 9-1 straight up in their 10 games. So I'm not sure why. Like, I don't know if it's a lack of focus. I don't know if the odds makers just kind of priced them out too high, but the Lynx don't cover at the crib. I tried to fade the Connecticut Sun of all teams, and they couldn't even get a cover against the Connecticut Sun. So what does that leave us as far as betting? When I think about the Sparks, they are a really good offensive team, right? 4th in offensive rating. Minnesota is the 3rd best defensive rated team, even though they are coming off giving up a 90-point game against the Seattle Storm in their last game. Sparks top 4 in offensive in effective field goal percentage. Minnesota's top 3 defensively there. Sparks do have a couple advantages in this game. They are 4th in points in the paint scored. Minnesota bottom 3 in the league, allowing about 33 points per game in the paint. The Sparks also rely a lot on fast break points. They're 2nd in the league in the last 5 games. Minnesota allows the 4th most points in the fast break, which I thought was pretty interesting. I didn't know that their fast break defense were that bad. The Lynx also have a couple advantages. The Sparks do rely heavily on free throws. They shoot the 2nd most free throws in the WNBA. Minnesota does not foul, though. They actually foul less than every other team outside of 2 teams in the WNBA. Sparks are also shooting about 51% inside the paint. A lot of their scoring comes from inside the paint. 2nd best in the last 5 games. Minnesota is 2nd best in opponent field goal percentage in the last 5 games, specifically inside the paint. So I don't know, man. I just kind of was going back and forth. As far as the totals, I'm not going to be betting too many unders moving forward, just because when I was going through and looking at the losses that I've taken, even though every time I back a team to play some defense, they decide not to. The games have been going over a little bit more than they've been going under. The reason why I couldn't get there and why I'm so conflicted, this is a 1 o'clock start time game. So many mixed feelings. So 1 o'clock games, somebody asked about this last Saturday. 1 o'clock games, early start time games in the W2 typically do go under. 139, 115, and 4 to the under. If the games start before 3 o'clock, that's a 55% hit rate to the under. Sparks are not a good defensive team. They're 3-0 to the over as a road dog this season. Those games are going over by an average of 14 points per game. They're averaging 179 points. So it seems real easy to take the over. Sparks are also 6-1 to the over in their last 7 games. Then I think about how good their offense can be, right? Rickea Jackson being back. She's coming off a career high game against the Aces. Dearica Hamby is, a baller. Azurá Stevens is an absolute baller, but now you lose a ball handler with no Odyssey Sims. Kelsey Plum, of course, is, still in there, going to be able to do something, I guess. But the Lynx, I think about the Lynx, and they're complete opposite, right? This is a great defensive team. They're coming off that, really bad loss where they gave up the most points that they did, 94 to Seattle in their last game. And I'm thinking they'll be locked in defensively. At the crib, they're 3-1 to the under so far this season. They're holding their opponents to 73 points per game. Then I think about the pace, right? The Sparks play the top 3 pace on the road. So they play really, really fast. The Lynx, second slowest pace team in the W. They do not play fast at all. This Lynx team is very methodical. They like to get out and run, but they don't play fast. So I'm kind of conflicted. I guess if I had to play it, it would be over. Like I said, I'm just not wanting to play too many unders. I also don't want to lay this many points with the Sparks with the Lynx, because they typically don't cover. And I think about the Sparks as a team that can play a little bit better than they played recently. I know that they got absolutely obliterated by the Valkyries twice now. And the Lynx are a lot better defensively than the Valkyries are. But I don't know. I kind of think, no Jess Shepard, that could kind of, hurt Minnesota as far as defensively. They don't have a lot of bigs. When you think about Elena Smith being one of the only ones, her and Nafisha Collier, I don't know, man. I kind of want to take the Sparks. I kind of want to take the over. That's what I'm thinking. I think 11.5 might be too many points, and I want to take the over. That's my thought process. Let's see what you guys are thinking, and then we'll move over to the next one. If you guys have any thoughts on player props, let me know. I can look those up as well. Let's see. JLB says I'm on the under in that game, system play. I'm about to post it on X. In this game, JLB. Prolific says, good morning, Chris. Cash OKC at plus money. Patience pays. Bro, I'm off OKC, man. I hope OKC lose the series. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go Pacers. That's how I'm feeling about it. Kelsey over 2.5 3-pointers. Make TG says. Kelsey Plum, I'm guessing. Okay. Kelsey Plum. JLB says take the under after a good team fails to cover. 8-2 to the under. Stay under by average of 7.5 points per game. So this is my thought process. Dom says team total under as well, 76.5. I'll show you the reason why I couldn't take it. And maybe I'm just, maybe I'm a little off. I just kind of feel like the game's going to be played with pace. I could be completely wrong, but the Sparks team total at 76.5 is kind of where we saw the Storm team total at last game. They got to 96 points or 94 points. So maybe Minnesota plays a little bit better. I kind of feel like the Sparks will be able to score. They just won't be able to defend. Let's see if I can bring this up real quick. Show you guys what I saw when I was looking into this. And it's not that the Sparks defense isn't the defense isn't good. The defense is great, but they weren't great in the last game. So if we look at the Sparks in the Lynx in this game, you can see defensive rating for the Lynx, second in defensive rating. Actually, hold on, is this a Lynx? Yeah, it is the Lynx, but it's not showing me Lynx. It's saying Liberty and Fever. Okay, so this is this is the Lynx, right? So second best defensive rated team. Here's the problem: the Sparks, fourth in offensive rating. They want to play fast. They want to push pace, right? If we filter this to home versus road, we filter this versus home versus road. You can see offensive rating is still fourth. They play super fast. Third in pace. 77 points is just it's a low number, man. It's a little bit too low for me to feel comfortable playing. You can also see, Sparks team total. Sparks 3-1 to their team total over in the first half. 4-1 to their team total over for the full game. In road games, 3-0 to their team total over as a road dog. 3-0 to their team total over in the first half and full game as a dog. I couldn't quite get there, man. Lynx are a good defensive team. We shall see, though. We shall see. I couldn't get there. I thought about exactly what you guys are thinking about. GLB said under. Unders have been getting smoked, man. All my unders been just putting money in the books or in the pockets of the bookmakers, man. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So that's why I'm on the sideline. But I'll root you guys on that Sparks team total under. Let's see what else y'all saying. Agree with the team total under 76.5 for the Sparks. Sparks always give up 3-pointers to the guards, TJ says. It's surprising they do play good defense. Sparks 3-0 to the under after a win, but I think the Lynx set step up. We shall see. We shall see. No baseball, Patrick. It's too many games, it's too many everything. I know how to handicap it. I just haven't even been paying attention to baseball. Not since I've been start capping WNBA. I don't got time to do both either. Yeah, so that's my thought process, man. Real quick, if we go over to Outlier, let's just look at that player prop real quick. We go to the next game. The Kelsey Mitchell 3-point prop that was mentioned in the chat. So let's see. Kelsey Plum. I was about to say Mitchell. Kelsey Plum over her 2.5 threes. We know she's gonna be launching. Let's see. All right, so she's coming off a game where she hit 0 against the Aces. She has not shot the ball well recently. Let's see. All of these games are from this season. I think, yeah, all of these games are from this season. So she's over in 5 of the 9 games. Yeah, because she missed 4 and hit 5. Shooting 34% from the 3-point line. Her three-pointers in general are down. 4, 8, and 4. I wonder if this has anything to do with Rickea Jackson coming back, because Rickea's been back for a couple games now. And I actually thought about playing Rickea over. You can see the 3-point defense for Minnesota is actually 3rd best against guards, specifically about middle of the pack. They're 6th. Okay, I'm not messing with Kelsey, but I think she'll get some looks today. She should get some looks today. So this is what I was looking at. I was actually looking at Rickea. I know it's not going to be as easy for Rickea. She of course had a really big game. You can see her points prop here at 30, but now she's listed at 12.5, and this feels obtainable to me. I know that the Lynx are one of the better defensive teams. I know they'll be locked in, but 13 points seems very obtainable. Excuse me, in my opinion. The minutes are going to be there. She missed a couple games because of the concussion or whatever she had with her head going on, and she struggled in her first couple games back, which makes sense because she had a pretty big layover. This is what probably or about a week and a half off, and struggled with just 10 and 8 points. And then she went crazy against the Aces. 12.5 seems a little low in my opinion. I think she could probably get to 13, even though it's a really good Lynx defense on the other side. So I didn't play anything in this game, man. Like I said, it's just too hard for me to get there for over under. The total is going up though. This open 162.5, and bettors are betting this up. It's up from 162.5 to up to 164. So we shall see, man. We shall see. I want to be on under. I can't quite get there though. I actually want to be on over, but I can't quite get there. Maybe live. Maybe I'll play something live. What's up, Jalen? Says, what's up, Chris and Chad? Been a while since I've caught a live show. Appreciate you for tapping in as always. Good morning, Lightbearer. Prolific says, little soccer basketball. Chris must be on a weekend break. He actually got a birthday party at 11, so that's why I'm finishing the show. And then we going to a little birthday party. Basketball camp just ended yesterday. Soccer camp starts on Monday, and then we got basketball camp again the following week. And then I think soccer camp the following week. So soccer, basketball, back and forth. And then he said he want to play flag football too. So we shall see, man. What's up, Switch? Appreciate you for tapping in. What's up, Mitchell? Hope all is well with you. Says good job last night. Yeah, whole little applause, Mitchell. We got a lot more to run up. I need all my money back. All right, let's go to the next game. We got the Liberty and the Fever. This total is actually coming back down now. Looks like so it opened with the Liberty laying 6.5 points when I was looking at the line yesterday. Since then, this has now come down. So the news came out, of course, for people who've been hyper focused on WNBA, that Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham was going to be back. This immediately shot from 6.5 down to 4.5, and it shot all the way down to 4 actually, and then went back up to 4.5, back up to 5. Now it's come back down to 4.5. So a lot of push and pull in the market here. Total open 160. I wrote 167, and now it's up all the way as high as 163.5 on a couple books. And this is another game, man, where I have no idea what to do with it, just because I'm not sure who's going to be out there. Like, I want to make sure there's no late game setbacks if I want to take the Indiana Fever, which I kind of felt like was the right side. But then again, do you really want to fade the New York Liberty? Now, here's the thing with the Liberty today. They will be shorthanded. There will be no Leona Phoebus. She is going to play Euro basketball, so she will not be a part of the team. Jacquel Jones, who did not practice yesterday, is listed as day-to-day. She could potentially return. She was in the gym getting some shots up. I got a quote here from Sandy Brondello. She says, quote, obviously, we've been building her up, so she's day-to-day. So it's how she responds each day. Be nice to have her back on Saturday going into Indy. So that's what the quote said. Who knows, though? Like, I don't want the New York Liberty if Jacquel Jones isn't going to play. I'd rather have him if Jacquel Jones is going to play. If anybody remembers back to the last game, Jacquel Jones she absolutely dominated that game. Put Aaliyah Boston in the basket. She finished the game with 20. These teams played earlier this season. The Liberty, of course, won that game by 2 points, did not cover as a 4.5-point favorite. We took the Liberty on the money line and got a better number. We also took the Liberty plus 6.5 when they were losing at the end of the third quarter. And they won the fourth quarter 22-12, ended up winning the game by 2 points. So we cashed both of those. Jacquel Jones, going back to what she did, again, 26 points. She shot 9 for 15 in that game, finished with 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and still in a block. So if she doesn't play, I mean, that's a lot that you're going to be missing. Now, on the opposite side of that, DeWanna Bonner is going to miss this game for personal reasons for the Fever. I mentioned Caitlin and Sophie Cunningham being back, but we don't know how quickly they're going to be able to get acclimated back into the rotation, right? So this Liberty team is the only undefeated team left in the W. They're 6-3 against the spread. The Indiana Fever just 2-3 straight up at the crib. One of those losses did come against this New York team, of course, and they lost their most recent game to the Atlanta Dream, which we were on the Dream on the money line in that game earlier this week. When I was looking through the numbers, the Indiana Fever are 2-2 straight up, 3-1 against the number with Caitlin Clark on the floor. The Liberty are 5-2 against the spread and 7-0 straight up, of course, with Jacquel Jones on the floor. They're holding their opponents to just 71 points per game, even though the Fever did get to 88 in this last game. So it's a very difficult game to handicap. When I actually put this up just so you guys can see some visuals. If you go back to the last game, I really wanted to be on the under. I'm glad I stayed off of that. You can see here that neither one of the teams really shot the 3-point shot really well. 30% for the Fever, only 26% from the New York Liberty. Going back to that game, I vividly remember like being in my basement, watching it in my little entertainment area and thinking in the third quarter, why are the Liberty continuing to shoot so many threes when they're not making any? It was like making me pull my hair out. They finally start putting the ball on the floor, getting to the rim, and some of those shots started to fall for them. And then their defense just really picked up in the fourth quarter. And that's what they can kind of rely on. So they got, shot the ball really poorly, specifically in the third quarter from the 3-point line. I think they started the game pretty hot. They were also dominated on the glass. You can see they were -5 on the offensive glass, and they gave up 18 points off turnovers and were -10 in points in the paint as well. So the Fever got pretty much whatever it is that they wanted. I do think I'm not fading the Liberty. That's one thing I'm not doing. -4 is what the number is right now. I kind of want to see what happens with Jacquel Jones. Overall, I think the best bet in the game is probably the New York Liberty first half. Granted, like I said, they'll be without Phoebus. But you can get the Liberty first half. You actually can get a -1.5 right now. Juice -1.5, -125, or you can just get a -2 on Bet365. That's the way I want to play this. I think Caitlin Clark coming back, it could be it could take a second to for her to get acclimated into, her and Sophie Cunningham to get acclimated into what they want to do, kind of get back into game speed. We've seen, multiple times so far this season, teams try to implement new players back into the rotation, and they're just winded, they're tired, whatever the case might be. So New York -2 in the first half if Jacquel Jones play would be the way that I would want to play this game. Only way I want to play it. Let's see what you guys are thinking. And then as far as the total goes, if Jacquel Jones is in, I do think that helps the defense a lot more. I expect the offense, if Jacquel Jones doesn't play, I'll probably be on the under. I think both of these teams will I think Jacquel Jones offense will be missed just as much as her defense. So I think I would lean a little bit more towards the under. I think in the game that they didn't play, against the Washington Mystics, that game stayed under, well under the total. in that game. And they didn't cover that one either. So I would probably be looking towards an under if she didn't play. These are two prolific offenses, but these are also two really good defensive teams as well. Real quick, let me just give you all the numbers on their defense. Let's see. So the Liberty, I mean, y'all probably noticed already, but the Liberty are number one in defensive rating on the full season, last 5 games. They're only allowing about 71 points per game, which is the best. The Indiana Fever are 6th in offensive rating, but 10th over the last 5 games. They are 2nd in defensive rating, so they're 2nd best defense, right behind this New York Liberty team for the full season. They're 3rd in defensive rating over the last 5 games as well. So these are 2 good offensive teams, but they're also 2 good defensive teams as well. I would bet Liberty first half if Jacko Jones was going to play. That's my thought process. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Oh, appreciate that, Switch. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers for sure, man. Happy early Father's Day. Appreciate that for sure. Dom says he's going Liberty team total under 88.5. Lee Anthony says, I think if Jones doesn't play, take the points with the Fever. Jones dominated the last game. I could not talk you off. It's kind of a wait and see game for me, though. I want to see what this offense looks like with Caden Clark back. Also, real quick, this comment just made me think, if Jacko Jones does not play, and I think you absolutely get an amazing Aaliyah Boston effort. Like, Jacko Jones is, not typically talked about enough about her defense. Jacko Jones probably one of the better defensive players in the WNBA, especially from the center position. And if she's not out there, Aaliyah Boston should eat. I mean, she should probably get whatever it is she wants. She was eating in the last game, specifically in the first half. I remember she finished that game with 27 points, 13 rebounds. So Aaliyah Boston points plus rebounds. She had 40 in the last game, 6 offensive rebounds. If Jacko is not out there, I'll be on Aaliyah Boston, her points plus rebounds today, especially with Caitlin Clark trying to, get herself acclimated. Caitlin Clark had 18 points. She shot just 2 for 11 from the 3-point line in the last game, 6 for 18 from the field. Her hands are going to be full because, it's going to be her first game back. She will, have the assignment of, Natasha Cloud will probably draw the assignment. Remember, Natasha Cloud got the deflection in the last game when they won. She did finish with 18 points, 10 assists, but she also had 10 turnovers in that game as well. So 5 boards, but like I said, she shot the ball poorly, and I expect her to shoot the ball probably not too good in this game either, Lee Anthony. Glad you mentioned that. GLB says favorites who just played the Sky are 1-3 on the money line, 0-4 against the spread, 4-0 to the over. Coming off a weak game against the Sky, man. Then you're not focused and locked in because you just played against one of the worst WNBA teams, man. Jason says, Chris, how is Cloclans at coaching? Couldn't believe the Wings blew that lead. 11 with 4 minutes to go? Yeah, they were up 1 with a minute to go. And that's what the Wings do, right? As long as they covered the +8, that's all I care about. Shout out to the Wings. They're 1-11 on the season. This team is terrible. He looked like Coach Trammell from last year. Tom says New York should cover easy, not without Jaquel, and no Phoebish is kind of scary. And you got revenge for the Fever. I don't know, man. Swish says I like Breanna Stewart over her points plus rebounds. I couldn't talk you off a little Stewie. Stewie has been hooping, especially if Jacko Jones is not out there. It makes a ton of sense. Real quick, let's just go look at Stewie. I'll pull this up so you guys can see it too. Stewie over her points plus rebounds. So Stewie points plus rebounds. 26.5 is what she's listed at right now. Against the Fever, she had 23 in the last game. She finished right here with 23 and 7. Let's take Swiss comment up. Yeah, she had 16 and 7 here. She shot against the Fever. She shot just 4 for 11. I think it was. I know Jacko had a good game. I think it was Sabrina. Yeah, Sabrina had 23 points. She was a plus 11 for 4 assists, 5 rebounds in that last game. Natasha Cloud also played really well. She had 16, 7, and 6 with 5 steals. Natasha Cloud did. Natasha Cloud points, rebounds, and assists. Feel like she still hasn't been scoring the basketball recently. That could be something to look at. Natasha Cloud. I feel like her numbers are probably a little deflated. Yeah, points only at 8.5 because she hasn't really been scoring. Her last time she scored more than 9, though. You see who it was against? It was against this Indiana Fever team. It just feels like a matchup she's going to get up for. It feels like a matchup she's going to get up for. The minutes I'm expecting to be there. Of course, the minutes are going to be inconsistent, right? Because the Fever blow out. I mean, this Liberty team blow out a lot of teams, right? Like, so she only played 18 minutes because the Chicago Sky only scored 66 points and lost by 19. She did play 30 minutes here because that was a game they didn't cover against Connecticut. They won by 48. She only played 20 minutes. Beat Washington by 22 here, only played 22 minutes. So if her minutes are there, I do think Natasha Cloud, let's see what her assists are set at. 6.5, rebounds set at 3.5. Yeah, these numbers seem attainable to me. Points plus rebounds. 12.5 seems very, very doable for Natasha Cloud. I'm gonna actually write that down. Points plus rebounds. I don't really want anything to do with the assists. Natasha Cloud. Points plus over 12.5 points plus rebounds. Yeah. Okay. Appreciate you, Switch, for even making me consider that. I had not thought about that. Natasha Cloud, though, seems like a Natasha Cloud type game. Last time that they played, it was a Natasha Cloud type game. So, all right, let's see if we have any more comments here before we move over to the last game. Yeah, they're terrible, Jason. They are terrible, man. They had me almost believing in the Chicago Sky, man. Chicago beat them 2 times in a row. While Drink says Caitlin Clark double. What are the odds on Caitlin Clark double? Let's see. I wouldn't play Caitlin Clark double, not in this game. But I understand it. You can get her to get a double at plus 150. If no Jocko Jones is there, I think it could be a little bit easier of a look. Plus 150 on FanDuel right now if you do want Caitlin Clark double. She did get to 10 assists in the last game, even though she had 10 turnovers to go with it. She had a triple-double in the last game. All right, cool. Last game on the board is this Storm and Valkyries game. Let me just double-check the line. So this is up to 10.5 now. You see 9.5 on the screen. It actually opened, I think, at 9.5. This is tough, man. This is another tough one. At least in my opinion, it's a tough one. I'm not a big The Storm are making me believers. They took my money in the last game, of course, because I took the Lynx. But they got to make me a believer on the road. That's how I kind of feel about the Storm. Now this Valkyries team, this total is continuing to drop too. It's down to 155 and open 157. I think that's the right play. I missed the best of the number though. The Valkyries are a team that will be extremely, extremely shorthanded. I mean, they're already not a great offensive team. But for people who haven't been paying attention, they end up signing Aerial Powers, who hasn't played in quite a while. This is her first game this season. So they signed her. And the reason why they signed her is because there's no Zandasili, who contract is suspended right now. She's going to play Euro basketball for her Italian national team. Timmy Fong-Bagley is out. Julie Von Loo is out. Salam is out. And Tiffany Hayes. Well, all of those players are going to play Euro basketball, and Tiffany Hayes is out. So this is a terrible spot for the Valkyries. Seattle is 3-1 against the spread on the road this season. They're 6-4 against the spread overall, which I think is like the second best ATS record. They've won 3 in a row. They've covered 2 of those games. Golden State is 4-5 straight up, better than a lot of people thought that they would be, through the first 9 games. They are 3-1 against the spread at home, 6-3 against the spread overall. I think this is the second best ATS record or third best ATS record in the W. They played 2. They won 2 in a row, covered both of them as well, and they played in 4 straight overs, have the Valkyries. What's fascinating in this game is I think for the Golden State, their offense is going to be missing a lot of functional players like we just talked about. I mean, you're talking about a lot of really, really good impact players. I actually think that the first quarter total is a tad bit too high. I kind of want to get in and get out with this one. Seattle is one of the better defensive teams in the WNBA. Surprisingly, their offense is also one of the better in the WNBA as well. But if we take a little trip over to Outlier, I'll show you guys what I was looking at. in this game. I said first quarter. I think first half is also something that's pretty appealing in this one. I want to play under because I think that the Valkyries offense is going to struggle, right? So this is MoneyBaller. There is a link in the description. I didn't say it earlier, but of course, there's a link in the description for Outlier as well. 7-day free trial. Check it out if you guys are interested, especially if you're new to the show. So this is the Storm and the Valkyries, right? A lot of systems here, and we'll talk about them in just a second. But the first quarter is 39.5. I think that could potentially be the best look in this game. So first, as I already mentioned, Golden State is going to be missing a lot of key players on the offense. I think that they could potentially struggle. I think they will struggle with some continuity in this spot. Second, Golden State, you can see here, they have not played a game since they beat the Aces in this overtime game. This was on the 9th. So they're coming off 4 days of rest, right? If their offense came out a bit, shaky, it would not surprise me at all, especially given how they like to score the basketball, which is typically inside the paint. Seattle has a lot of length and athleticism down there with Nneka and, Ezzy Magbamore and Malunga. A lot of really good interior presence. Golden State, if we come down here and look at some of the trends, right? Golden State is 3-1 to the under. And if they're at home as a dog so far this season. And I just don't trust the Sky's offense, specifically on the road. You can see that overall they're 2-1 to the under as a home as a road favorite as well. So 3-1 to the first half under as a home dog, 3-1 to the under also if they are more rested, I think I saw. Let me double check that. No, never mind. Scratch that. So yeah, that's the way I kind of want to play this one. I kind of want to take the first. I think just going through and looking at the team total, it's still dropping for the Valkyries. I think that they will struggle to score the basketball in this game against the Storm team. Here's the thing, though. I'll tell you guys a couple more things I found in this game. When I was matching the teams up with what the Storm like to do versus what the Valkyries are good at, what came up, and you can kind of see it right. Let's see. You can kind of see it right here, right? Some of the scoring stuff and inside the arc. So if you look at the numbers that I highlighted here, you can kind of see what I saw, right? So if we think about the Storm's offense, what do they like to score the basketball? It's typically in the restricted area. They shoot, their top 4 in the WNBA in restricted area makes and attempts, and restricted area field goal percentage as well. They're also top 4 in paint makes, attempts, and they like to shoot the ball in the paint. They're not a great 3-point shooting team. However, what's crazy is they actually, this is how I think about the Storm. They're actually number 1 in the last 5 games in 3-point shooting 41% from the 3-point line. Number 2 on the full season, shooting 37% from 3. When I think about the Valkyries defense, you can see all of this. If you just look, just zoom in, they're actually pretty good at taking away some of those shots in the paint. They're number 1 in opponent restricted area makes and attempts over the full season and the last 5 games. They're not going to lose a lot of that size and the athleticism that they have down low. You still got Timmy Funk Bagley down there. Well, you don't have Timmy Funk Bagley down there. I'm sorry. But you still got, Monique Billings down there. And that's I think they just take away this, right? This is what we saw when they shut Asia down last week as well. They don't let you, they collapse the paint and make sure you have to shoot from the outside. So I think that they can slow down this Storm's offense just a tad bit. That's another reason why I kind of like the under. From a player prop perspective, when I think about the game, the way that I just said it, and I think about the Storm being, having to score the basketball from the outside, I'll tell you guys what I thought about. I thought about one player, and that was Gabby Williams over her 14.5 points. 14.5 is a number you can see she went under against Minnesota, but over in 3 of her last 4 games, over in 4 of her last 6 games. So she's kind of on a scoring spree right now. If we filter this to, if we filter this just the road games, for whatever reason, even going back to last season, she's played really, really well on the road. In the 4 games she's played on the road this season, you can see that she's up and over 14.5 points, and it's not even close, right? 17, 20, and 21. These also came against 2 pretty good defensive teams in Minnesota and Phoenix. 2 of the more difficult places to play. Dallas, everybody should be able to score 18. And then she did struggle in the first game against Phoenix here. This was the game I actually backed Seattle, and she didn't do anything. But I think Gabby is going to have to be somebody that, she's been able to knock down some shots. I think they're going to have to score from the outside. You can see that she's shooting 48% from the field. If we just 48% from the 3-point line, this is going back to last season as well. So we just look at the last 5. You can see she's shooting 50% from the 3-point line. So I like Gabby, 87% from the free throw line, shooting 51% overall. I like Gabby over her 14.5 points in this game. I didn't bet it yet, but that's the way I kind of think about this game going. First quarter under, and Gabby Williams up and over her points is what I'm thinking in this one. Let's see if you guys have any thoughts here. We'll jump into a quick recap. Yeah, I got Chicago right last night, Frederick, but I agree, man. I can't stand Chicago teams. I actually like them. They just don't like me. They hate me. Lee Anthony says, I like the Storm and the points. Valkyries have been playing great, but will be without their top 3 scorers. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking too, man. I understand it. I think 10.5 is just a lot for me to lay. It's a lot for me to lay on the road, man. That's a whole lot. I mean, like if the Storm come out and, they're lackluster in the first half, I'll bet them the same way we did Atlanta last night. They're by far head and shoulders the better team. Storm don't have anybody on the injury report. They have no excuses in this game. Let me just double check that. But I think when I looked at it this morning, nobody was on the injury report. Yeah, no injuries nobody on the injury report. I mean, if you can't formulate some kind of game plan, Noelle Quinn, to slow down Veronica Burton and Kayla Thornton and Monique Billings, I don't know what to tell you, man. I just don't know what to tell you. So I want to bet first quarter, like I said. Under 39.5 was the number. It is still under 39.5, but the number is moving now. I should have probably bet it this morning. I'm going to actually bet that. Minus 120. So it's starting to get juiced. It was minus 110 this morning, but the total is continuing to drop. So the first quarter makes sense for it to drop too. Justin says he played the Storm minus 9.5. Makes sense. Dom says, I think the Wolves are going to start falling off for Golden State. That makes sense. Lamont says Boston double-double, 20-point double-double. Strap them. I gotta start reading some of these first. Dom says he likes first half under 77.5 as well. Makes a ton of sense, man. It was 78.5 this morning, Dom, because I was looking at that. I said first quarter, first half. I like first quarter and first half under. I agree with you there. Swiss says she thinks Skylar Diggins over 22.5 points and assists. She's averaging 27. Info from Outlier on the road. So she's played well on the road. Or you could take Skylar 17.5 points too. She's averaging 21.5 on the road so far. Yeah, Skylar, it seems like Ezzy is the player that does not do well in road games for whatever reason. I feel like she's been the player that has struggled. Let me just see if I can confirm that real quick. Ezzy. I feel like Ezzy hasn't played well. I'm not sure what Neck could be doing on the road, but let's just look at Ezzy real quick. Let's see this season. Let's go points and let's go only road games. Yeah, look at this. Look at my confirmation real quick. Just the way I think about games, then I go look at them and see if I'm right. This is Ezzy's 4 games on the road so far this season. 2, 7, 6, and 4. It's one of the reasons why you can't trust the Storm, in my opinion. But as he's listed at 8.5, you can see she's really struggled on the road. She's shooting 31% from the field, 0% from the 3-point line, 15% from the free throw line. I don't know what she see. Maybe she see ghosts, but she is not playing well. And this is all in 27.5 minutes per game too. This is pretty alarming. If you like Seattle to make a run, because you're gonna have to show up on the road. You're not gonna have home court advantage most likely. If you think that they could win a championship. This is pretty alarming. Ezzy under 8.5 points in this game. Let's see what her rebounds look like. Road games this season. She's a good rebounder. You can see there go a little parlay. I know people like parlays. Take Ezzy under her points and over her rebounds. He's gotten to 8 in every game. We do expect the Valkyries offensive struggle should be more rebounding opportunities for somebody like a Izzy McMcGourt for sure. So yeah, take Izzy under her points and over her rebounds. little quick cook up. Okay. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job here. Pretty good job. Let's see if we have any more comments, and then we'll get into a quick recap. Anthony says, you would think if you're trying to grow the WNBA, how they do allow players to leave during the season, they would impact players for those teams. I'm not sure, fans. Yeah, I don't know what they do in the WNBA, honestly, Anthony. I mean, having all the games on yesterday, having no games on when the NBA doesn't have a finals game, like I can't think of a league that's more backwards than the WNBA, honestly. It's been like this since I've been watching too. Like no games on Monday, then WNBA is a pretty light day on Monday. Like it's actually insane. But I digress, man. Let them do what they want to do. Lamont says, I hit Bree Jones double last night. Great cash. Yeah, she was struggling. She had 2 points, I think, in the first half. I'm glad you got there and she cashed for you, Lamont. All right, let's jump into a quick recap, man. Like I said, I have not made a bet today. I kind of want to bet over between the Sparks and the Lynx. I kind of want to take the Sparks as well, plus the points. Maybe I'll look live. Like I said, the Lynx just don't cover. They're 1-3 against the number at home. Line was up to 11.5. It's still 11.5 on Caesars right now, and ESPN Bet got 11.5. Bet365 got 11.5, but there are some 10.5s. Total actually coming back down now, it looks like. I see a 162. I see a 164. I see a 163.5. So that's kind of all over the place. New York, there should be a asterisk beside this first half because I don't want anything to do with New York if Jacko Jones is not going to play in that game. But if she's going to play, I do think that it takes a while for Caitlin Clark, to get acclimated, to being out there after missing about a week. Same thing for Sophie Cunningham. Golden State and Seattle. I like the first quarter under 39.5. I like the first half under 77.5. And Gabby over her points, I think, would probably be my favorite play. If I was going to add anything to this, it would be the Natasha Cloud over 12.5 points plus rebounds. I think was that number 12.5. That's what I wrote down. 12.5 for Gabby. I'm sorry, not Gabby. For let's see. Natasha Cloud over 12.5 rebounds and assists was points plus rebounds was the number. Points plus rebounds for Natasha Cloud. And I like it more if Jacko Jones doesn't play. But we shall see, man. We shall see. If I make anything official, I will send it out to the members. Like I said, I'm really trying to hold myself more accountable to get into these plays early, but I don't really enjoy the slate today. Any of the games, honestly, from a betting perspective. I plan on watching, all of these games and being locked in. Probably send out some live plays as well once I do end up making them, if some opportunities present themselves. And that's what I like for today, man. Best of luck on whatever it is you guys are playing. Check the resources out. They're all pinned in the description, as well as the link for the official plays if I do make any. And that'll be the show for today, man. I will catch you guys tomorrow. And enjoy your Saturday, man. Be safe. And I'm out.